Scrolling on my phone, open up TikTok, see my man Rico knows. He's talking college football, all the spreads and all the trends. Say you wanna win money, listen to me, man. I tell my lady, go make me a bagel. I gotta listen to what Rico gotta say, though. He got the numbers and he got the picks, so I gotta listen to my man Rico. I'm just scrolling on my phone, seeing what Rico knows, seeing what he know about the UFC and college football, the prop picks, all the spread picks, the plus money underdogs, all the best picks. Gotta listen to my man Rico, he's a wizard. I told my girl Rico, say listen to the lizard, and we cash it out, all the props. We cash it out, all the props. Listening to Rico, I'm just scrolling on my phone, seeing what he knows, seeing what Rico knows, seeing what Rico knows. I'm just scrolling on my phone, scrolling on my phone, scrolling on my phone. I'm just scrolling on my phone, seeing what Rico knows, seeing what he know about the UFC and college football, the prop picks, all the spread picks, the plus money underdogs, all the best picks.
Hey, yo, what up, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon? Shout out to all the MVPs out there. Hey, I'm doing a results show on UFC 320. I apologize. I don't have any sound engineer. It's just me. We're just scrolling. So let's talk about it, man. The fights just ended. It's 1 in the morning. I'm doing the results show. I'll be posting it on all the platforms once we're done here. Main event was Magomed Ankalaev against Alex Pereira. Remember, I'm going to talk about the results on the gambling side of the house, talk about the chart, but we're really doing this so we have all the fighters, our assessment of them, and we can always go back and watch results shows. Is really important. It helps us get our bets right. So let's go pull it up. Here's the chart. Not a bad night. Ended up 9-5 on the night overall, but that doesn't really matter. What matters here is we missed 2 locks. We can't miss 2 locks and be all that happy with it, okay, if we're being real. Now, I'm going to talk about the fighters in its totality at a second, but one thing we were on heavy was the main card. Went chalk on the main card, meaning I wanted to go all favorites and see where it went. It didn't go well in the main event, but we got everything else right. Feels pretty good. I'll talk about those fights individually. Hit on the top 2 parlays. That is very important. You guys should be heavy on those, or at least 1 unit on each one of those. And then all the purple parlays. When you see purple parlays, just remember they hit at 35%. These hit at 62 and 57%. And that's why you should probably put more confidence and more units in these plays as opposed to anything purple. If anything purple on the chart, that is your 35 to 40% range. So if you see an underdog, don't get too excited. It's probably not going to hit. And same with the prop that's going to be in the plus 200 range or so. Everything else, slam dunks, we got it all right. But let's go talk about it. 2-0, by the way. 2-0 on Rico Knows Picks. The 2 fights on this card that I thought were our best bets. It was right here. RK best play and RK on Yuri. Let's go break it down, though. Shout out to the MVPs who trust me, who make smart decisions. Remember, we do this year-round. We pick fights for the MVPs. We get it right. You guys make your money. Your ROI is your business. It all depends on how much you put out and what you do with it. Now let's talk about these fighters. So in the opening fight of the night, they had Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. Brogan Walker hasn't fought in 2 years, and she looked fine. She just doesn't have anything for you. She didn't look like a real fighter. I don't think she's a UFC caliber fighter. So if we see her again, Vegas knows she sucks. We're not going to get much value from her. She is a grappler, kind of, sort of, but definitely not a striker. She looks like a girl who goes to the gym and gets to work out because she's kind of pretty, or prettier than all the other girls. She's not really pretty. She's about a 3. But, you know, people think that's pretty when you're in a gym surrounded by dudes. On the other side, Veronica Hardy, her husband used to fight in the UFC. She fights well. I don't think she's an exceptional fighter for a couple reasons. Number one, even though she has an advantage on the feet, she doesn't have the confidence to go in there and bang and get it done. She could have won this fight by knockout if she just had the willingness to close with the enemy and hit someone in the face, which she wouldn't do. She fights like a karate fighter. And if you guys have ever seen karate or taekwondo, they fight for points. And point systems are you go, you strike, then you reset and go again. She doesn't have the killer instinct in her to be an MMA athlete. She hasn't learned to mix all of her martial arts seamlessly, and that's probably her limitation. That's where she's just going to be. So be aware of this. They really like her ability to strike. They like what she brings to the table, and it is aesthetically pleasing, but she's not going to knock anyone out. We're probably getting to the scorecards, and if we're getting to the scorecards and we have to rely on judges, do I really want you at a minus 900? That's absurd. So just be aware of that moving forward. Shout out to you guys. Next fight, I was really dialed in my assessment on this fight. Austin Vanderford, this is Paige Van Zandt's husband. He's probably really busy making pornography with her, but on the other side, he is a very strong and large fighter for this weight class. And then you have Ramirez. Ramirez is a guy from the Bronx, New York, and Vegas hates him. He's been an underdog multiple times now. The last 2 fights, he's been an underdog. We have taken him money line and hit for plus 200 or more. And that's because he has a really unique skill set. You can't grapple with him. You will get tapped out. There is no other way around it. He is a world-class submission artist. As a matter of fact, I think he has 13 wins now. Of those 13 wins, 12 of them are by submission. If you're ever going to take him to win a fight, you might as well just go find what the prop is for by submission and put your money on it. I saw MVPs did that tonight. I'm so proud of them. Shout out to my boy Daniel Henderson. He turned $25 into several hundreds of dollars. Like, you guys can do this if you just pay attention. The way this fight works is Austin Vanderford was deemed a favorite by minus 300 because he has a wrestling acumen and a wrestling background. And I told you guys, when you're a good all-around fighter and you're a ground and pound guy, which is what Austin Vanderford is. He's not an exceptional boxer. He's not an exceptional kickboxer. He's not a jiu-jitsu nerd. He's a wrestler who can just kind of beat you up. I was a very similar type of fighter. When I was an MMA fighter, that's what I brought to the table. I have the ability to get a takedown, be in a dominant body position, and then I'm just going to inflict pain. You know who you lose to? You lose to a tactician or a jiu-jitsu practitioner who is very specified in that particular skill set. And that's because you take away my ability to wrestle. Because if I go and get a takedown from wrestling, I now am in your world. You're a grappler. You can probably get a sweep, some type of quote-unquote reversal, right? A switch, anything of that nature, and now you've got my back, and now we have a problem. And that's what happened in this fight. He ended up getting a front choke, like a bulldog choke, almost turned it into a guillotine. And Austin Vanderford was playing with fire. You don't want to do that. So once I told you guys, hey, he's not going to be able to use his wrestling, and that's why he's a minus 300, because Vegas says he's a dominant wrestler, but he can't use his wrestling. Now we're just going to be standing, and in a stand-up fight, he's not any better than Ramirez in striking. So I like our chances. I like our chances of plus 240 because we won't be able to use the wrestling. You use the wrestling, I'm on your back, and it's over. And that's exactly how it went. Shout out to the MVPs. We won by submission, hit big, and it's nice to hit on an underdog. Next fight, Chris Gutierrez versus Farid Basharat. I regret not making this a lock, but I did tell you guys very plainly and clearly, it's just the odds were wrong for me, right? Minus 600 is a little too big to make it a lock because then you got to parlay it with stuff. But I had no doubt in my mind Farid was winning this fight. I told you if Chris Gutierrez gets taken down, he closes his guard and doesn't ever get back up. This is a guy making business decisions. He's okay with fighting. He doesn't care about winning or losing. He just wants to be healthy enough to fight again in 3 months. If you go and you put yourself in harm's way, if you get knocked out, if you get hurt, Vegas, the fight commission, the gaming commission, they will suspend you until you're healthy and you get cleared by a doctor. Every fighter who gets injured in fights or gets a black eye or a busted lip or stitches or anything, they get quote-unquote suspended from the UFC until they're cleared by a doctor. And that can hurt you if you're trying to fight 4 times in a year because you won't get cleared for several months or you have to wait for something to heal and then go get a doctor and get a clearance letter and all this stuff. So Chris Gutierrez is notorious for not getting injured. He will just stay out of harm's way and make sure he's not injured because he wants to keep fighting again. And that makes for a guy who will never try to win the fight. So yes, he can kick. He does great head kicks. He does great low kicks and all this other stuff, the leg kicks. But if you get a takedown, this guy is deathly afraid of being hit. So what he will do is close his guard and control your posture and not let you back up. He doesn't want you to be able to like leverage up and then strike down and rain down blows, what I call tripod up. But he doesn't want to see you do that. So he just holds on to you, closes the guard, and just stays there for the whole minute. And we just laughed. So this was a really easy fight for us. And Farid, well, he's careful. He lost the round on every single card. Okay, because he didn't get a takedown initially, and he stayed standing and stuff like that. But Farid is an undefeated fighter, and as these fights get harder and he goes up in competition, we're going to have to eventually fade an undefeated fighter. That's the hardest part of this job, is when I have to predict that an undefeated fighter will eventually lose. Just remember that. So Farid Basharat will be faded soon. He doesn't have any real knockout power. He is careful not to get in wars and things like that, but he's just a grappler who's kind of athletic. This was a custom-made fight for him. So it is what it is. Macy Chiasson versus Yana Santos. Technically, I missed on this fight because it's on the chart and it says Macy Chiasson. But I told you guys, this is a live bet. It's on the card. This is for the people who don't watch the video. If you don't watch the video, you see live over here, you don't know what to do with this. It says go the distance, but live. And the reference to live was if Macy Chiasson can't get a takedown, she's losing this fight. And I made that very clear. So if she can't get a takedown, she's going to lose this fight. Shout out to Yana Santos. She's going to win the fight if we stay standing. Well, that's exactly what happened. So if you were live betting this, you should have seen in the first round, Macy could not get her takedown, couldn't implement her game plan. She has no chance to win stand-up because she's not really about that life. She's not a gangster. I think she's very tall for the weight class. She struggles to make weight. That leaves her with low energy and not the ability to finish fights in the second and third round. And she just doesn't have knockout power. So we're just, what are we doing here? And Yana Santos has proven to be athletic, durable, and a gangster about it. Like, Yana Santos wants to go fight. If you watch this fight, she was throwing kicks, punches, knees in the clinch, framing off the face, cross-facing. She's doing everything you ever wanted her to do. She looks like a gangster. I liked it. Shout out to her. Next fight. Pullier Soriano beats Ankalaev Vertenikarov 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. This was a child's play. Pullier Soriano is a former Division III All-American wrestler, so everybody always talks about it. And he came into this fight, and he knew what he had to do. Had to get a takedown against a much bigger fighter. Ankalaev is huge. And he just took him down and beat him up. Nothing else to it. Had maintained his dominant body position. There was no threat to get back on the feet. Ankalaev is quite all right with just laying down and getting beaten up. That's what I learned. He's just okay with losing. I don't know what his deal is. This is his third time he's fought in the UFC. And he won last time when he beat Francisco Prado, and he just kind of out-muscled him, big brothered him, because Prado's small for the weight class. Pugliano's not small for the weight class. Pugliano came down in weight class, in weight, right? Pugliano used to fight at 85. Now they're both at 70. So it's just one of those situations where, oh my goodness, Nevada just scored. I'm sorry. It's frustrating to me. Shout out to Fresno State. Get your shit together. But I'm looking at Soriano, and I probably should have been on him, but it's minus 450, so I don't like those odds. But shout out to him. He fought well. I wonder when they're going to give him better competition. What's weird about Soriano is he only fights about once or twice a year. And when I see a fighter only fights once or twice a year, that tells me it takes a really long time for him to do the weight cut. When you see fighters fight only once or twice a year, they take a really long, steep slope or gradual slope to get to that weight cut. So they can't do it as often as everybody else, fight 4 or 5 times a year. They got to take 2 months to cut the weight as opposed to 2 or 3 weeks for some other people. So just be aware of that. We might not see Soriano for a while. Next fight, Muniz. This was an early stoppage. This one kind of made me mad, but it's okay. Edmund Shabanez, the reality is Edmund Shabanez throws hands. He can bang. And as long as we're not going into the second or third round, he's going to win a fight. So if you want to sprinkle on him to win the fight in the first round, it's going to happen. That guy's got no cardio, but he's got hands for days. So learn nothing new in this fight except for Andre Muniz. Pay attention. Andre Muniz, being a world-class grappler, he has put on too much muscle. He has been in some weight training program over the last couple of years, and from when he started in the UFC to where he is now, I think he's got the dexterity of a rhino. He looks rigid. He can't finish his chokes. He can't finish anything he's doing. His whole body weight is in his upper body. His arms are huge. His chest is huge. And I think it's cumbersome. Like, I think it limits him, and it's not an advantage. He just looks slower than normal. So while he's here, another thing is his chin is very suspect. His chin is suspect. There's no way he should have lost this fight at the end of the first round like that. We had 2 seconds to get out of the first round. I think he could have won the fight in the second round, but Mark Smith doesn't care about your coin, and it sucks. For you live bettors out there, you should sit back and just wait. And if you see a fight being reffed by Mark Smith, just sit it out, bro, because Mark Smith's a bitch. Speaking of being a bitch, what up, Patchy I Can't Fight Mix? Patchy Cement Mix finally gets a layup of a fight. They give him a guy who can't strike. They give him a guy who can only grapple. They give him a jiu-jitsu nerd on the regional scene from Poland, of all places. And they say, Patchy Mix, go out there, do what you do, tap him out, and win by submission. And we're going to give you very favorable odds. We're going to give you minus 320. This is the cheapest Patchy Mix has ever been. And we saw the exact same Patchy Mix that we saw a couple of months ago. The exact same motherfucker. Dude came out stiff as a board. I don't want to say a D, but he came out stiff. Motherfucker fights like he's got rigor mortis. No head movement. No ability to really fight. And even when he's grappling, he doesn't do anything that I like. I'm a coach. I'm an MMA coach. I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. I'm watching this guy not going chest to chest, not passing guard properly, not doing anything. Absolutely worthless. And in a 3-round fight, he was exhausted at his game plan. That's something he should be good at. I think he could get beat up by Tatiana Suarez. I think he can get beat up by my neighbor. This dude ain't shit, and my neighbor's got dementia. Shout out to my neighbor, Frank. But I'm looking at Patchy Mix. He's one of the worst fucking fighters in the world. Patchy Mix does not belong in the UFC. And if we ever see him on a UFC card again, I can't think of any easier fight for him to get. We see him on a card, we're taking the other side, and I think he's getting knocked the fuck out. Like, he got zero head movement, durability. He can't fight at all, guys. That's not a fighter. He looks angry the whole time. He should be angry because he's got no athletic ability. If we're playing basketball and we're running fives, that's the last guy picked, bro. Because that's the most unathletic motherfucker I ever seen. I don't want to hear about him saying he would strangle this guy and his coach. He talks so crazy. I've seen clips of this guy. His fights are embarrassing. And Jacob, if we see him again, we will. Apparently, he's going to get more UFC fights. Jacob is a jiu-jitsu nerd. He can't really strike. He has no cardio. And he actually lost this fight. Let's just be real. Patchy Mix got robbed. But I'm not here to advocate for Patchy Mix bum ass. Like, he got robbed by the judges. I'll give him that. I don't care. Should have never been to the judges. You're fighting a dude from Poland. Don't tell me the jiu-jitsu game in Poland is dangerous or something. Just don't do it. I'll go to Poland right now and just tap out a bunch of Polish people. You know what I mean? Like Jacob Wicklax. It's Wicklax. Shut up. I pronounce words in English. Wicklax here sucks. Insane. Hope we see him again. We'll fade him too. Speaking of fade, I told you the hardest day in my job is fading undefeated fighters. So Joe Sang-yo is from South Korea. He's an enigma. He's undefeated. He's really tall. He's muscular. He's chiseled. He has everything you're looking for from a fighter. But I told you guys, as flashy as he is, I have concerns about his defensive posture. This is why I made this a Rico Nose pick for the fight. I have concerns about his defensive posture. I have concerns about the way he protects his jawline. He doesn't pick his hands up. They're not at his face. And he relies on athleticism and quickness. And you can do that while you're young. You can do that in a sparring match. You can do that in a controlled environment. You can't do that in a real scrap. Not when there's a dog in front of you who doesn't throw linear or conventionally. And I told you Daniel Santos is the guy who's going to come out to bang and figure it the fuck out. Like, that's who he is. And people are mad. People are scared. Rico, it's a catch weight. It's a catch. Oh my God, he looks chubby. Look at him. He looks out of shape. He's kind of fat and he's slow and he's short. Oh my God, he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the speed. And sure enough, in this fight, Joe Sang-yo has a killer jab. It's fast. But I don't give a shit. I know that guy in Korea is beating up everybody in those gyms. I know that guy has never really earned his spot in the UFC. He beat up a bunch of Uber drivers. He beat up a bunch of cab drivers in Korea. And then he got to the UFC and he looked impressive in his last knockout. But when you watch his last knockout, it was against Jekka. Jekka's an Indonesia fighter. And he beat him with a check hook. You're not going to check hook Daniel Santos for a knockout. That's not happening. So what are we going to do here? We're going to get in a scrap. We're going to figure it the fuck out. And that's exactly what happened. And I was 100% right. Daniel Santos is a dog, comes out in the second round and shows him there's levels to this. You don't belong here. And I'm proud of him for it. So shout out to Daniel Santos and shout out to every MVP who believed me and bet on that fight. I appreciate you guys. Next fight. Well, the odds were minus 2,500 for Ateba Gautier because this was a short notice fight. And Ateba, his first round knockout was a minus 220. There was really no way to win money on this. Tristan Vines, if you watch his fights, Like, he looks like this photo right here, bro. That's what's crazy. He looks like this photo. He stands like that, like just a little pussy. Like, he just stands like a dude who we told you got next. You're sitting on the bench waiting to go next. And then after the game is over, we're like, nah, man, you don't have next. That other guy was waiting, and some dude just showed up. He was waiting, and who he has his 5. He's going to pick the 5 guys he's going to pick 4 dudes from the losing team. But you still got to wait, man. You got next after that. And we just keep telling him he's got next. And then eventually he goes home, and he just plays with Transformers. And then he gets a little older, and he gets into Magic the Gathering. And then he goes and sits with a circle of friends, and they talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that's that motherfucker right there. That dude ain't no gangster, bro. That guy's not from my block. He ain't from my hood. I'm telling you, Tristan Vines, you get your one chance to come into the UFC, and you fucking run around looking ridiculous, bro. There's lateral movement. There's lateral movement, and then there's what he was doing. That motherfucker tried to beat my 5K. I ran a 5K this morning. He tried to beat my 5K time in the cage. He was running around like the floor was on fire, like the floor was lava. He didn't want to fight at all. It was crazy. And then I don't know what happened. He went for a takedown, tried to get a double leg. He caught an elbow to the side of the head, and then he reacted like he's never been elbowed on the side of the head before in his life. And then Ateba just kind of peeled him off. And dude was laying there slumped. Homie was slumped over. He looked like a stunt double in a movie or something. Like, it's not real, bro. It's not real. I think he took a dive. And then he punched the mat harder than he punched Ateba at any point. He punched the mat after he lost. He punched the octagon. Yeah, Tristan Vines. What an embarrassing display. And then to the UFC, man, don't be giving these fighters fights like this. Like, he should not be fighting. Tristan Vines is a civilian, bro. What does Tristan Vines do? Does he work at Discount Tire? I think he has a normal-ass job. I don't think he's a real fighter. I think he works at Cracker Barrel. Yeah, they're hiring him now. I think he works at Cracker Barrel, bro. He's a bus boy at Cracker Barrel. There ain't no way that's a real fighter. And Ateba, well, he's a monster. And we still don't know if he can scrap. Ateba's a monster. Next fight, Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. I told you Joe Pyfer's too strong, and he's probably going to win this fight. I was hoping they would both be exhausted and get to the bell, go the distance, that kind of deal. But Abus is he's just a quitter. He don't want to be there. That's too rough. Very low volume, though. That concerned me. They're big guys. They're probably being cautious. But it was a low-volume fight, and Joe Pyfer absolutely banged and got it done. Shout out to Joe Pyfer. The difference here was his ability to grapple. Joe Pyfer is a jiu-jitsu guy. Don't confuse him with a fighter like Bo Nickel, right? They're not the same guys. Joe Pyfer hits hard, and he definitely gets the job done. So shout out to Joe Pyfer winning this fight by rear naked choke in the second round. And Abus, you're a good fighter. We'll see what happens. Josh Emmett, Yusuf Zalal. So I told you guys the last time we saw Josh Emmett in a fight, I told you he's going to constantly get big-name fighters. Like, they're never going to give Josh Emmett an early prelim fight. He was once on posters, and Father Time has caught up with Josh Emmett 3 years ago. Like, he should not be fighting anymore. But he still looks like he's in shape. He has a puncher's chance to win a fight. Obviously, he beat Bryce Mitchell, the farmer, with a one-punch knockout, and everybody talks about it. But outside of getting a one-punch knockout in the first round, this guy will never win a fight. And if he's in the main event or co-main event, he's going to be 5 rounds. He's going to lose any ability to win the fight pretty early on. So this was an easy call, and it's no big surprise here. Yusuf Zalal is a minus 450. Now, MVPs, I want to give you some advice. When you see a minus 450 like this, money line, it's okay. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to go and try to do the method. You don't do any of that shit. What you do is you take this and you go and you parlay it with a money line you really believe in college football. Something like Michigan today. Like, Michigan's not losing. We know they're going to win the game. Or you go and take who played Purdue, right? Like, you just go find the right teams. Now, be careful, but you get what I'm saying. So don't get fancy. I don't like to get to method unless we're taking an underdog or there's a specialty involved. But I knew Yusuf Zalal was never going to get hit in this fight. He took 0 strikes. There was no strikes thrown in this entire fight. 0 strikes. landed, I should say. That's the most remarkable thing in the world. These guys fought for 1 minute and 38 seconds, and no one got hit. It's crazy. Because Josh Emmett can't hit what you can't see. You can't hit that man. That man is moving like 100 miles an hour. Yusuf Zalal is the truth, bro. He can move, great foot movement. I don't know what happened when he took some losses and left the UFC, but when he came back, he had superhuman powers last year, and he's never stopped. He's great. So shout out to Yusuf. Going to move up the rankings. Keep going. I don't think we can fade him. Vegas knows he's good. He came in here, made easy work of Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett sucks. I'm saying that about a guy who's 19-6, but he's going to lose more and more and more now. Speaking of lose, Yuri Prochazka, however the fuck you want to say this guy's name, Yuri has only lost to one person in the last 10 years, and that is Alex Pereira. So he has 5 losses in his career, but 2 of those are to Alex Pereira and no one else. So I can't take Khalil Roundtree. That's what I told you guys. I can't take Khalil Roundtree. We're taking Yuri. It's a lock. It's a Rico Nose pick. I know he's going to win. Let's go. All right. Now the fight happens. Holy shit. Khalil Roundtree is efficient, conventional, doing everything right. Khalil Roundtree. And he's winning this fight, and he's winning it easily for the first 2 rounds. There was no debate in my mind that Khalil Roundtree came in here with the right game plan, banging and throwing, and Yuri looked embarrassingly bad. Yuri was off balance, off center, couldn't keep his footing, throwing ridiculous strikes, shit you never want to see somebody throw. Like, he just looked terrible. And I just sat here, and guys, when I'm watching a guy look that bad, this isn't Contender Series where I can just be like, oh, hey, we're on the wrong guy. Live bet the other guy. Like, I'm never going to do that because there are thousands of MVPs. And you guys already watched the video. You already made your picks. This is a Rico Nose pick. So I'm just going to live with it, and I'm going to sit there and write it out. And you guys got to understand the amount of jubilation and relief I felt when I watched Yuri Prochazka just knock the shit out of this man in the 3rd round. All heart, the willingness to close with the enemy, extreme durability in that 3rd round because he took some strikes and it looked like it never landed. And it's important, you guys, you got to pace yourself and understand where we're at. But you guys, some of you guys are, I know you guys are trigger happy with that phone in your hands and all those apps. You got to just sit back and let it happen, man. I know a lot of people are throwing money on Roundtree during the fight. Don't do that, man. That guy's fake as fuck. That dude is a really buff Dungeons and Dragons guy. That's all he is. Shout out to him. Yuri got it done. Congratulations, MVPs. What a great comeback. Proud of you guys. By the way, given the options of who Yuri's probably going to fight next, we're going to fade this guy. He did not look good. We're going to fade him. I don't think he can beat Carlos Ulberg. No, I think Carlos Ulberg cracks him. Athleticism, speed. There was a huge speed discrepancy here, and Carlos Ulberg's about 10 years younger than both these dudes. So, and now Father Time. Speaking of too young, Merab. When is Merab gonna lose? He's gonna lose when he gets old. He's gonna lose when he gets slow and old. Somebody's gonna have to slump him. You're not gonna outwork him. He's not going to get tired. ABC, always bet cardio. This was a lock for us. We knew Merab was winning this fight. And shout out to Corey Sandhagen. He fought well. It really impressed me with his wrestling, his striking, his heart, his cardio. He showed up ready to fight. You just can't handle a guy who has 10 minutes of control time and shoots 37 takedowns. You just can't. You're not going to overcome it. It's a tough day at the office. Shout out to Merab. We know what we get with him. We know what we're doing. We win a lot of money. If you believe in Merab, figure it the fuck out. And Corey Sandhagen, you didn't do yourself any disservice. Like, you still got fans. People still believe in you. You're fine, man. It's just, it is what it is. And then in the main event, Alex Pereira learned from his mistakes. I'm not going to sit back and lose my knockout power. I'm going to go use it right now. And that's exactly what Alex Pereira did. He closed the distance, went right in there, and knocked this man out. It was over immediately. It took 1 minute and 20 seconds just to watch Magomed on the ground take 28 strikes to the dome. So shout out to Alex Pereira. He's always going to be that guy that if you're going to take him, you got to understand that he's going to win by knockout. And if you're going to fade him, you got to understand there's a chance he will win by knockout. So careful. It's tough. I wonder who he fights next. We'll see what they do. But all in all, not a bad night. Hope you learned something about the fighters. Remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.